Hi, I'm Arran Adair from Adair Guitars. In this video I'll be showing you how I saved over $1,600 Australian by making my own tools, templates and jigs for guitar making. Let's get stuck into it. So all the prices in this video will be approximate, relating to 2020-2021. I've mostly used StewMac as a comparison for prices. They're the supplier that most guitar makers would be familiar with. However, there are lots of other suppliers in different countries, and I'm sure you could find other comparisons which are more local to you. All prices will be in Australian dollars, but I'll put a few conversions on the screen as well for other currencies. Or I'm sure you could work out your own conversion at the end for the total saving. Number one, templates. Now, a sheet of 600 by 1200 MDF from my local hardware store is about $20, and that's more than enough to make a set of templates and have a lot of MDF left over for other uses. Now, searching the internet, there's a lot of variation in template prices, but probably about $120 Australian is an average kind of amount. So to design the guitar shape on the template, you could either do that directly onto the MDF, you could use some kind of computer program to do that as well, or you could even find some plans off the internet and download those, print them off, paste them on the template and cut them out that way. So $20 for the MDF, $120 comparison for buying the templates yourself, saving of $100 Australian. Number two, a router sled. So instead of buying a thickness planer, you can build your own router sled. As you can see, this one here has had plenty of use. It's got quite a few marks in it from mishaps. All it is once again a bit of MDF, probably the same price as the templates, about $20 a sheet. You then just need the sled to go over the top to fit your router, and you're away. Now, so $20 for the MDF. A cheapish sort of router from my local hardware store is about $150. So you're looking at about $170 to make your own router sled with a router. Now, a cheap thickness planer from my local hardware store is about $590. So there's a saving of $420 to make a router sled. Number three, a pickup winder. So this is the pickup winder that I built and used for the pickup in my GuiTARDIS for the Great Guitar Build-Off entry this year. I haven't shown this in a video yet, so on my next build I'll definitely use this to show you how it works. Basically, it's leftover MDF as well, a variable speed control, a counter to count the number of winds. The motor that I used was from a 12 volt camping vacuum cleaner, so I just took the motor out of that, but you can buy sort of cheap motors on eBay or Amazon as well. Also, for the wire guides, I've just used a couple of pegs with some little washers so I can adjust those to get them in the right spot. And it just uses a 12 volt power supply, which you can get pretty cheap anywhere as well. So the total cost to make the pickup winder was probably about $40 Australian. Through StewMac, they sell for about $560. So this is one of those tools that you can make a massive saving on by doing it yourself. So for this one, I've saved probably, just over $500. And that's a big saving to buy the components to wind a lot of pickups. Number four, a fret bending jig. Now on StewMac, this is probably one of the biggest savings that you can make by making your own. They're about $215 Australian, which is a lot. To make one yourself, all you need is a bit of scrap wood, 3 bolts and some bearings. Now, to get the bearings, I actually went onto Amazon and bought some cheap fidget spinners, took the bearings out of those, yeah, that's the way I did it. The 2 bolts on the bottom just go through the wood, and the bearings are right next to each other. The one at the top has a washer in between the 2 bearings, so when you push the fret wire through, there's a little gap for the tang of the fret wire to go through. So this was a really enjoyable one to make, and it works perfectly fine. And the cost price for the fret bending jig was about $15. Number five, a fret beveling file. Now, this was the easiest one to make and was completely free for me. So all it is a bit of scrap wood, an old file cut in at a 35-degree angle, so that when you're doing the ends of the frets, you can get them perfect every time. Now, these are about $85 online through StewMac, so to make one for yourself for free is a massive saving. I had a lot of files lying around. I just found one that was suited to taking the ends of the frets off. Number 6, a notch straight edge. Now this is something that you can make yourself if you've got a ruler that you know is pretty straight. All you need to do is to work out the scale length of the guitar and just grind out the gaps where the frets go. Now this is one that if your ruler's not straight, it's going to be pretty useless. So it's one of those things. I think this was $15 to buy, which is a lot cheaper than buying a notch straight edge. It does work because I was reasonably confident that this one was straight, but it is an example of one where I have upgraded. So I did get a Crimson guitar notch straight edge, just so that I'm 100% certain that it is perfectly flat. So some of these tools that I'm making myself, I will use forever and won't need to upgrade, but I think this is probably an example that this will get you by for a certain amount of time, but it's probably worth upgrading at some stage to make sure that it's 100% right. Now, a notch straight edge from StewMac is about $145 Australian, so to make this for sort of $15 myself with a $15 ruler is certainly a massive saving. Number 7, leveling beams. Now I bought this aluminium rectangular tubing from my hardware store, and for a metre of it, it was I think about $25. And from this I was able to make some beams of different lengths. Now obviously with having sanding beams you want them perfectly flat, so you need to make sure of that. So if you've got a tool that you know is perfectly flat, it's pretty easy to check and see how level it is. So I'm pretty confident that these sets will do me just as well as most other beams that would be out there. Now a full set of sanding beams from StewMac is about $250 Australian, which is a lot of money for something that you can do yourself. So this is probably one that I might upgrade at some stage, but I'm sure there are alternatives out there that are probably a little bit more affordable. But for $25 for this has certainly done me well so far with what I've needed to do. And finally, number 8, a neck rest. Now I know you can make your own from scrap wood. From StewMac I think they're about $35 for something similar. Now what I use is a $5 yoga block. You can put it on different surfaces for different heights, and nice and soft. You could carve it out if you wanted to make a neck profile, but that works perfectly for me. So the total saving that I've made from making my own tools, templates and jigs is well over $1,600 Australian over the last couple of years, and that's a lot of money that I can put into buying components for the different guitars that I want to make, and over time I can upgrade tools as I need. Now certainly something like this, the fret bending tool, there's no way I would upgrade this. This does the job perfectly. Would I prefer to use a thickness planer rather than a routing sled? Definitely, and that's something that over time I will look to upgrade in the future. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click like and subscribe, and if you've got any tools or jigs that you've made yourself, put it in the comments below and we can share it with everyone. See you all in the next video.